Hi folks, and welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to be making some Cuban sub rolls. Now I think you know where Subway's is. It's that type of roll, but we're giving it a bit of a twist. Once again, this is based on sourdough. It just gives that beautiful flavour to the roll. And don't forget, your recipe is down in the description, and also down there you'll find numbers of playlists. There are recipes waiting for you guys. And if you like this type of content, please subscribe and please share. Anyway, we'll get right on with the video. And before we get on to the recipe, baker's tip. It just makes it much easier if you get the right temperature. Best temperature for sourdough or any type of bread is around about 20 Celsius. That is just a good goal to have. When you're using your sourdough, I've understand from a number of people that is a bit of a myth that sourdough floats. The old bakers told me going back years and years ago, back in the 1970s, oh, that's how old I am. Scary. Dough floats when it's warmed up, and it does float, but it also sinks as well. And that doesn't mean to say there's anything wrong with the dough. It's just the fact is, it's just a natural occurrence. It's like yeast. You can actually stir in yeast and it'll float and it bubbles, but also it'll go dead as well. It looks dead and it can still be alive. It does take something to kill yeast, and salt is the biggest culprit. If you put a shed of salt into sourdough starter, you'll kill it. And for your recipe, you want 500 grams of strong baker's flour, 300 grams of water, 100 grams of active sourdough, 15 grams of sea salt, 15 grams of caster sugar, 70 grams of lard, or you can use white shortening. We're now going to add our dry ingredients into the machine bowl, but not our salt. And now we're going to add our water and our sourdough starter. And we'll get her going. The dough wants to be mixing for around about 10 minutes, but we're going to stop it halfway through to test it. We're mixing the dough on first speed, but if you want to mix it on second speed, cut down the amount of time of the mix. Right, the first part of the dough's ready. What we'll do is have a look, see what the consistency is like, and then add our salting. Yeah, that's fine. All we're going to do is add in our salt. And commence the mixing. We're now going to add our melted lard in. And all we're going to do is turn on the machine and let it clear. This will take around about 2 minutes. That's ready. And now we'll get it onto the table. First we want to do is check that there's a nice clear window in the dough. There's your sourdough in your pot. All we're going to be doing now is leaving this to prove up. So we're going to want to come up to about this height in the bowl, and then we can start to use it. Put the lid on. So we'll see in around about 6 hours time. Our dough's ready. We'll get them out of the bowl. Now we're going to be scaling this off in 250 gram pieces. We're now going to mould these sort of round. Like that. So we're going to just cover these over and leave them here for 10 minutes. Right, the dough's ready. We're now going to be rolling these out to around about 6 inches long. Well, actually probably about 8 inches long. Now you want to keep the seam on the top, like that. What you're doing is using this part of the hand and going into the middle and taking it down. Probably have to use a bit of flour on this. Once again, there's the seam, just keep the seam upwards. Once again, seam upwards. And there's your tray. I've already prepared this. I've got flour and also roast cones in the bottom. So you're just going to lay them in the tray. Seams upwards. And then we're going to cover them all up. And these should take around about an hour to 2 hours to prove up. Unless you've got yeast in it, and it will take a little bit quicker. Your sub rolls are almost ready, so we'll transfer these into a baking tray. If you've got baking wire, it'd be useful. Or a baking tray. Some baking parchment or silicone paper. Now, being very careful, pick these up and turn them over and place them onto the tray. And now we're going to let these rest for around about an hour and cover them over. We'll start off by putting 3 little slits down the top. And we'll get them into the oven. Put some water into the bottom of the oven. And get them into the oven. And this is your pan Cubano sub roll. That does look the business. And just remember, this is sourdough. I've tested it out, and that looks nice. A nice roll, nice and soft. Obviously, I've crusted these up because I like them crusty. But they are very, very nice. So you've even got the holes in there as well. It's as simple as that. And didn't they look good, folks? Yes, and I'll tell you what, they tasted absolutely beautiful. It's such an easy recipe. Once you get the hang of it, you can make this dough with yeast if you want to. And don't forget, the recipe's down in the description. And also down there, you'll find numbers of playlists as well. And they're recipes for you. And oddly enough, there is 1 or 2 things down there which aren't even baking related that you might be interested in. Please subscribe and please share. And we'll see you again very shortly in the Crazy Baker Kitchen on the Crazy Baker channel. Laters! This is the Crazy Baker channel. Baking. Lifestyle. Recipes. Reviews. I am the Crazy Baker. Please subscribe and please share. Laters!